Hello everyone, my name is TNG Street Rider, and I am back once again with Marvel Heroes gameplay highlights, this time featuring Magneto, the Master of Magnetism. Alright, so it's been some time since our last hero, who was fantastic, but this time we've got another villain, and he is Magneto. So we're going to take a look at his trees here real quick. He has Mangled Metal. Mangled Metal is most of his damaging spells. It actually also deals with generating his secondary resource. Secondary resource is again something that Gazillion is bringing back en masse. Seems like every character has a secondary resource. His is called Debris Orbs, and Debris Orbs fuel his powers over in the Master of Magnetism tree. Again, this deals mostly with his debris spending powers. Some spend 50, some spend 25, like that one. There's also a passive that spends it 5 per shot. So you get the idea. In the middle here we have electromagnetism, and this is his beam powers. These are more focused on his electromagnetism, self-explanatory itself. So you'll see a lot of cool beam powers. Think of like the EM disruptor from Marvel, or Shockwave from Marvel, which is actually one of the powers here. I'll show you that in a bit. Moving on to what I am currently using. Well, I'll show you here. His basic power, Scrap Shot. Fires 3 beams right there. And you can, if you get close enough, all 3 will actually hit them and do damage separately. I actually don't recommend getting too close with Magneto because he is kind of squishy. And that's something you really got to be careful for on Magneto. Next up I have Wrecking Ball. This is actually one of his level 1 powers. Sends out a ball. The ball will actually track your enemy, so if you send it out towards a minion that's moving around, it will actually follow him. Next up we have is this Imprison? Yes, Imprison. It's one of the moves that he has as a boss. It is also his main dot that he puts on the enemies. Looks awesome. It will slow them. It will root them. Also applies vulnerability to them. Okay, it doesn't slow them. It just roots them briefly. And it will generate orbs as well. It's one of his generating powers. Next up, I have Meat Grinder, which is his first spender power. You spend 25 and you get this. Ooh. It's an AoE. It's does a lot of damage in the area. Let's see, how long does it last? It lasts for 8 seconds, so it's a basic twice per second power. Very similar to Nova's, or really any of the characters. And Magneto is, if you can't tell by now, a pure ranged character. He has no melee, so to speak, except for his movement. If you want to count that as melee, I wouldn't. But that was his movement. Ferromagnetic Blitz. So, looks good. As you can see, it really sends out a lot of debris. And I hope that's something that lower end computers don't have a lot of trouble with, is, because he does constantly generate debris. Both around him and in his moves themselves. So next up I have Blunt Instrument. He basically picks up a car from out of nowhere, throws it. So you can basically throw a car from anywhere. That's it does a lot of damage. It's very similar to the Crash Down powers. It is on a 4-second cooldown, which is nice, and it generates a lot of debris, which is great for casting out more meat grinders in my case. Over here on my other mouse bar I have Metal Tempest. This one slows enemies, and it does do the energy damage twice per second. As you can see, looks very similar to some Marvel vs. Capcom moves that people may remember, which is really great. I think that's that was really when he was really big in video games. I mean, everyone who played Marvel vs. Capcom at all knows who Magneto is. So I think that's great that they incorporated that. Next up, we have Storm of Steel, which is his signature power. And, you know, I'm not even going to go over it. I'm just going to pop it and show it, what it all is. Ta-da! That's right, it's his dreaded boss move that was killing pretty much everybody when the game first came out. You actually get to do that to people now, if you play PvP, or you get to do it to the enemies in the game. Really cool looking power. They did a great job on it. And it's on a relatively short cooldown, 45 seconds. So same as Juggernaut's signature power. It has a very wide area as well. So really great power there. Moving over, these are his passives. He has three toggles. He actually has another passive right here, Indomitable, and that is his crowd control break. Is it? I feel like I'm missing one. I'm sorry. Yes, he also has another one, electromagnetic field. So he has 4 total. Yeah. No, 5. I'm sorry. I should have counted them earlier, I guess. Yes, he has these 2, which they're toggles. They can only one of them can be activated at a time. Okay. Then he has another toggle, which is completely up to you if you want it or not. I like it. It's called Waste Not, and it will automatically fire debris, very similar to an Iron Man micro missile. So I keep that power on. It is a passive, but you don't need to have it on your bar. So that would be his third one. He does have electromagnetic field, which is his stun duration one. Right here. It's a one pointed to me because you can just let it, you know, you can just pop it when you need to. That puts on a little force field and everything. Looks cool. I don't really use it, so. But again, I'm only on the test center. If I was doing regular content, it might be something that you want to keep on your bar readily available. And then Indomitable, I'll go ahead and put that there. I'll pop it real quick. And that's just his crowd control immunity. Nothing super special on that one. And what else do we have? We're gonna go ahead and show some other powers that I haven't. This is Magnetic Disruption. This is his second basic power. Boom, boom. It is like a boomerang, so it will follow you back. Even if you try to dash. So, pretty cool power. It also collects debris along the way. Pretty useful. It's really going to be a style choice, depending on what what range power you want to use for your basic. Next up, we have Polarity Surge. This is pretty much his EM Disruptor. It looks very powerful, very cool looking. I'm going to show it. Boom. Pretty nice. Has a cooldown. His passives, his toggles right here. Which one? This one actually changes it. Removes the spirit cost and reduces the cooldown depending on debris I spend. Pretty cool. Next we have Magnetic Eruption, which is also, some people might think of it as Shockwave. Slams the ground, magnetic shockwaves comes up. Self-explanatory. Looks awesome, by the way. Shrapnel Barrage. This is the barrage that every other character has. You hold the button down and it fires stuff out. I don't know what's wrong with the sound. It sounds weird to me, but when it hits, it actually sounds fine. I don't know. It could not be ready yet, but regardless, it is going out. Next we have Magnetic Vortex. That's awesome looking, right? And that just causes enemies. It sucks them all in, weakens them all, does energy damage. Very similar to Wanda's, which is his daughter's move. Next we have a Magnetic Attraction, another one of his boss moves. Only you can spam it. How convenient is that? Looks awesome. Very, very boss-like. And his last move is Spike Impale. Spike Impale? Yeah, Spike Impale. Yeah. So you need a target. I'll screw this guy over. Ooh, look at that. And it does a lot of damage. Very cool looking. And so here we go. We're gonna talk about his gameplay style. Magneto is pretty much cut and dry in the gameplay department. He is a range blaster. As a range blaster, he has to stop and cast, and stop and cast, and stop and cast. He's not very mobile while he's fighting. It's really going to be up to you as the player to determine how mobile he actually is. And you know, you're not really going to get a lot of mobility out of him even then. I would put his play style more honestly like his daughter, the Scarlet Witch. She's not a very mobile caster, but she does bring a lot to the table in terms of damage and crowd control. And Magneto is no slouch in those areas either. He brings a lot of crowd control and a lot of damage to the team. And that's really going to be his main calling card. You know, he does actually do tons of damage. Not just in normals, also in the cosmics. I've done cosmics with him. Absolutely fantastic. No trouble at all. Except the fact that, once again, he's a little squishy. And at this point, I believe you kind of got to get used to that, because that seems to be the way Gazillion is designing range characters. They're going to be much more powerful in a fight than a melee character if they don't get hit. That's just the way it works. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I have to understand the reasons why, because it's part of game design. Yes, in the comics, Magneto is pretty close to a god. It's very, very difficult for him to be defeated. But this is not a comic book. This is a video game, and Magneto plays very well within the confines of the game. He's designed well. His moves look fantastic. And, you know, he plays as a range blaster. You just have to pick your battles a little bit more carefully than if you were on someone like a Juggernaut. As for his vocals, I believe it's the same voice actor that has been doing Magneto for a number of years, because he sounds identical to like the 90s Magneto that I know. You know, growing up as a kid, I heard Magneto constantly on the old X-Men cartoons, and this Magneto sounds identical. So once again, the voice acting team the voice acting talent that Gazillion has brought in is phenomenal, and I think the players will really enjoy that aspect of Magneto. The one complaint that I do unfortunately have, I think, is honestly going to be a very common complaint, and it's not actually with the gameplay of the character. It has to do with his look. As you can see right now, I am using the classic purple and blue. The reason is because I cannot picture him using anything else. I mean, I've seen this version of Magneto since I was 4 years old. And when you buy Magneto, you do not get that costume unless you pre-order the pack. The default for Magneto is this one, the white one. I'm not up on new comics. I don't really read new comics. I have no idea where this is from. Apparently Marvel Now. I don't even know what that series is about. But apparently Magneto has turned over a new leaf, and because of that, he is using a white costume, which looks really boring in my opinion. He looks like a flying Moon Knight. Sorry. I really hate the costume, and it's one of the reasons why I probably won't be purchasing Magneto right away, because A, I don't have enough money for the pre-order pack, and B, I don't feel that a character that I've known for pretty much my entire life, I'm not getting his iconic look. It blows my mind, and it's really the only complaint that I have about Magneto as a character, and it's more of a complaint aimed at Gazillion specifically. And I mean, I know why they're doing it from a business decision. Again, I understand and I respect that from a business decision, because they do have to make money. But I have to look at the other side. As a player, I'm not happy. When I get a iconic hero or villain to play, I want to play as the iconic hero or villain. I want the costume that I know them in. I want powers that I recognize, which they did a fantastic job on that portion of it. I just really, I don't understand as a player why this needs to happen. Maybe if they gave me, the classic costume as a default, I might be more inclined to buy an alternate costume when I have the spare money. But in order to force me to buy a costume that I love in order to enjoy a character that I love, as a player, I can't support that decision. And unfortunately, that's what they've gone ahead and done again with Magneto. And they put him in this white costume. Now, on the upside to that, Magneto is launching with 3 costumes at launch. He'll have the white, which is his default. Again, I'll prove it his default when I take it off, still white. He's going to have the classic purple and red. And then he's also going to have another Marvel Now costume in black, which is basically just a color swap. Some people may like the black more than the white. Again, as far as I know, in order to get all the costumes, you still have to buy the pack anyway. And if I was spending the money on the pack, I would be using the purple. I would be using the classic, just because even the amount of detail that they've put on the redone version of the costume. I mean, let me zoom in here on this. It looks amazing. They did a really great job. So unfortunately, that's my only beef with Magneto, is again the costume thing. As a character, if you don't care about that, you want to know, is Magneto solid? Absolutely. Magneto is a fantastic blaster character, and if you like blaster range characters, you will be enthralled to put him into your collection. If you don't like range characters, you will not like him. As you can see, that was his ultimate power. The Sentinels dropped in, and they give me debris to kind of throw around the field. They said they tuned it. It still really doesn't do a lot of damage, in my opinion. I think his signature is still much better. The reason why I'm not taking points off of the lackluster ultimate power is because I personally don't feel that a power that's on a 10-minute cooldown should really dictate, if you should buy a character or not. I mean, you don't really get to use it that often anyway. But his signature power is solid. All of his other powers are solid. His costumes are nice, although you don't start with the one that I think most people will want, which is his classic costume. All in all, Magneto is going to be a great buy. He's only going to be 400 splinters. That also equates to 950 G's, I believe. So, $10, standard character pricing, nothing too crazy. Looks fantastic. That is Magneto, everyone. And I will be back, I'm not sure how soon, but I'll be back with X-23, apparently. She's getting released before Venom. So, I'll be back with either X-23 or Venom, depending on who gets released first. Thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you guys next time.